All right, so the second part of 4.3 is about taking equations that are already graphed and then identifying what the equation is for that line or that parabola. So I'm going to have you write it in both standard form and vertex form. You have one of each of these on both your quiz and your test. So I want to make sure we do a few so that way you feel confident in it. So let's just recap on what is vertex form. So vertex form is y equals a parentheses x minus h parentheses squared plus k. All right, and then standard form would be your kind of normal y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So first, whenever you do this, so step one on how you do this. One is identify the transformations. Okay. Then write in vertex form. And then the last step is to convert to standard form. Okay, so on letter A, what is happening in this graph? It looks like it's been shifted. Let's see, it's been shifted right 1 and down 2. Is there a shrink or stretch? Well, let's see. Looks like we have over 1, up 1, that's good. Over 2, up 4. Okay, so then that means there has not been a shrink or a stretch because that's just like the parent function. So it's only been shifted right 1 down 2. So whenever you write the equation in vertex form, the one thing I'm going to have you write, even though it's already in your notes, but actually no, I'm not. It's already in your notes from graphing vertex form. I was going to say that the shrink or stretch is what the a value is, but your a value is 1 because there is no shrink or stretch. All right, so anyway, we have y equals no a value because there's no shrink or stretch. So x, and then how do you say right 1? Okay, and then close those parentheses. Don't forget the exponent. And then how do you say down 2? Well, it's on the outside, minus 2. So if that was too much for you, go back and watch that very first video from this unit. I think it was 4.1, and I talked about all of that, and I had all that chart that you should have written down. If you don't have that written down, I highly suggest writing it down of all the transformations. Okay, so that's what your answer is in standard form, or sorry, vertex form. Sweet. Now we have to do one more step to get it into standard form. We just have to multiply it out to get rid of those parentheses. So this is going to be x minus 1 times x minus 1 minus 2. All right, let's go ahead and distribute. That would be x squared minus x, then another minus x, and then plus 1. I'm going to bring the rest of that stuff down. Now it looks like we're really close to being done. There's no parentheses. We just need to clean it up a little bit. So combine our like terms. So we have y equals x squared. Negative x minus x would be negative 2x. And then positive 1 minus 1, or sorry, positive 1 minus 2 would give you minus 1. Okay, so that's what it is in standard form. All right, let's do the next one. Let's identify the transformations again. So it has a reflection. Okay, it looks like it's been shifted left 2, up 3. And then is there a shrink or stretch? Looks like over 1, down 1, over 2, down 4. Yeah, so no shrink, no stretch, good. So let's first write it in vertex form. So y equals, remember if there is a reflection, that means you have to put a negative out front, or if you want, you could put a -1. I'm just gonna put a negative. So negative parentheses x. How do you say left 2? Well, that will be plus 2. Close your parentheses, don't forget your second power, and then up 3 would be on the outside, plus 3. Okay, there's vertex form, so now let's do standard form. So this is going to be negative times x plus 2 times x plus 2 plus 3. So on this, since there's a negative out front, you're going to FOIL first and then distribute your negative. So I'm going to write it like this just so I don't forget to distribute that negative. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So x times x is x squared. X times 2 is positive 2x. 2 times x is positive 2x. And then 2 times 2 is positive 4. Okay, before I distribute the negative, I'm going to clean up the middle. So that would be negative times x squared plus 4x plus 4, close parentheses, plus 3. Okay, so now almost done. Now we can distribute to the negative to those 3 things inside the parentheses. Don't distribute it to the negative 3. So it would be y equals negative x squared minus 4x minus 4, and then I'm just going to drop down that plus 3. Go ahead, last step, combine your like terms. So it would be negative x squared minus 4x, and then negative 4 plus 3 would give you negative 1. Boom, there it is in standard form. All right, last one, because these ones are actually duplicates, sorry. So let's see, this one is shifted just down, right? So down 3, and no reflection, no left or right. Is it a shrink or a stretch? Over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. Nope, so it's literally just down 3. So let's do vertex form. So you're gonna write it as y equals parentheses. Now, since it's not shifted left or right, you have 2 different ways to write it. The first way is kind of the long way, so it would just be x minus 0, close parentheses, squared, and then down 3 is minus 3. Okay, that is a perfectly acceptable way to write it in vertex form, no big deal. You will also see, or probably a different way how I would write it is just, since that's x minus 0, that's just x to the second power, right? Those parentheses aren't really doing anything for you. So, and then I'm going to drop down this minus 3. So this would be in vertex form, right? Either one of those two, I kind of prefer the second way. Okay, now for standard form. Well, for standard form, are there any parentheses to distribute? No. Guess what? It's already in standard form. So this one, the vertex form and the standard form are the same thing. Sweet. Love problems like that when they're nice and easy. Okay, that is it for part 2. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.